But Dean, Texarkana Monthly is so excited that you consented to grace us with the front cover and the story on economic development for Texarkana. This is fantastic because the tagline for Texarkana Monthly is everyone's famous in their hometown. And we got an icon, and that is you.
That's cool.
So through economic development, everyone knows it's about money. And I'm kind of curious to know, what was your first paycheck?
Well, my first paycheck was actually at a miniature golf course when I was 10 years old at the corner of College Drive and State Line. And I lived at 34th and Magnolia, and there was and I got a job cleaning up the greens over there, I think for 25 cents an hour or something. And that was my first paycheck because that was the first time I got my Social Security card because the guy made me get a Social Security number. So that was that.
So was that the beginning of your passion and love for golf?
No. I didn't know what a golf club was until I got out of college, kind of, and, started piddling with it.
Well, that was your first paycheck. So in Texarkana, what was your first investment?
Oh, that was a ridiculous investment. Jerry Rochelle, the attorney that passed away several years ago, and I were very, very close friends, and we bought some property over across from old Bramble Pool on College Hill that was up for sale for tax.
Yes.
And I think we bought it for $10 and sold it for $15 or something. It was awful.
So were you calling that a good deal or a bad deal? Were you happy to get in it or happier to get out of it?
Get out.
Get out.
Get out. You're right, Jeff.
So it's often said that a happy person likes to invest their time, money, and energy in community ideas that they're passionate about. What are you passionate about for Texarkana?
Texarkana been my home forever, obviously, and Texarkana has been so good to my family and to me, and I don't know. I just have this passion about. I don't want Texarkana to be another Dallas. I hate the freeways. I don't want Texarkana to be another Dallas. If I would, I'd live in Dallas, I guess. But I want Texarkana to steadily grow. What I want, I guess, more than anything else, I want everybody's kids to want to live back in Texarkana when they get grown. Several years ago, Chris Caram and I were doing a class out at A&M, and the kids were sitting there talking to us, and they said, we don't have any reason to stay in Texarkana. We got to leave here. There's nothing for us. And I kept telling Chris, I said, this has got to change. I said, we want kids to stay in Texarkana.
Well, we've always been challenged as a community, as most communities, with either a brain gain, recruiting and attracting, or a brain drain. So what is it going to take to attract the next generation?
It's going to, well, obviously it looks like it's going to take jobs that are high-tech jobs. That's what it's, to me, I guess that's what it's going to boil down to. One way or the other, I want to see jobs come to Texarkana that people will enjoy doing what they're doing, and for it to be, I think A&M, I think the college, I think University of Arkansas, Texarkana, I think all of those things are going to be just fantastic for Texarkana because it's going to bring people. There's no doubt we're going to get jobs to Texarkana that use the people educated at those institutions. We're going to get it. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of money to do what we've got to do. But we're going to do it. And the best thing we've got right now in all of this area is we've got Miller and Bowie County in both cities together in an effort to do this. And Jeff, I don't think in all of my years involved in Texarkana, this has never happened before. But we got the best people in the world doing what we're doing to develop what we need to develop to keep kids in Texarkana.
Well, what has changed with the cities coming together now, which, I mean, we were founded over 140
You're off
years
your
ago.
questions, by the way.
Hey, it's a conversation. It's like you read them. I love to tell the story that through Leadership Texarkana is that Texarkana has always been divided. And it was even before we were a city, and it was even before we were states, because the Caddo Indians had Fort St. Louis near Roseboro Lake. And then out near Highway 8, we had Spanish Bluff.
Right.
And as Cliff Vanderpool from the museum used to say, is our two Caddo Indian chiefs have always been here, and the Spanish traded Bibles and blankets at Spanish Bluffs, and the French traded rifles and whiskey from Fort St. Louis, and said all the Indians here had Bibles, blankets, whiskeys, and guns. So they
Sounds like Cliff.
So they were obviously working together, but we've always had two. And you're describing now that everyone's starting to work together. So what is the catalyst that is actually bringing the cities and the counties together to actually pull on the rope at the same direction at the same time? Why now?
Well, in the past, I don't know how many years, Texarkana has just not been successful to bring new jobs to Texarkana, except retail. Now, you know, and I love the retail. Don't get me wrong, I love the retail, but you're swapping dollars, you're changing dollars around, same dollars around to different restaurants and et cetera. And I know a lot of people criticize me for saying that, but that's my feeling about it. But I just kept saying over and over again, James Henry Russell and Chris Caram and I used to walk together a lot of mornings, and I kept telling them, well, it all started when James Henry, when we got the election successful for Texarkana College to keep the college open. That was a huge, huge win for everybody in this area. No doubt the college would have been gone if that hadn't happened. Yeah. So when we were successful in keeping the college open, then I said, you know, we have got to do something to bring jobs to Texarkana. And I don't know how many meetings we had, and no telling how many meetings we had, probably starting in 2016, somewhere in there, 15 or 16. And what evolved as a result of all the meetings that we had with so many people was that we just decided that we would go out and get, you know, 6 or 7 people that we knew. When we got all of us together, you know, it's like I said, the first meeting we had, that the group had before we ever started going out to hire somebody, like when we went out to hire Rob Sitterly, I sat in a meeting with everybody that morning, and I said, you know, there are not 7 bigger egos in Miller and Bowie County sitting in this room. But I said, we're all going to get along for 5 years. We're not going to fight for 5 years, which we haven't. The original group of Ready is not. We've not had one problem with anybody, with any of us, which is wonderful. But I said, you know, these people that are in this room, nobody had a selfish interest as far as putting the amount of money that's been put into this organization by that group of people. We have not had there's nobody in there that says, look, I'm going to do this for my own selfish interest because I've got this piece of property over here, or I got this, or I've got that, and I can make money off of it. There's not anybody in that group that even thinks in that way. And that is just fantastic.
Truly thinking for the community and not self-serving.
Unbelievable. The general public has no idea how much money's been spent so far, and we haven't been successful in bringing a business, but we will be. The one thing that you've got to remember is that public money has to be involved in this somewhere. Bowie County has been so good. The Commissioner's Court has been so good about putting the money up. The city of New Boston, the city of Hooks, And Bowie County went out there and they literally put the $1.5 million together to buy the 800 acres right there at the Hooks exit, or west of the Hooks exit, for us to have this piece of property on the interstate to buy for this piece of property. The city of Texarkana, Arkansas, and Miller County have agreed to put the money up on that. There are two different pieces of property that we're looking at in Miller County that we are got to buy to bring business to this area.
To offer them.
People don't realize, they have no earthly idea. If pick up the Dallas News, the city of Dallas gives millions of dollars in tax abatement or whatever to bring business to Dallas.
True incentives.
True incentives. Look at what Tesla, look what the city of Austin, what, $60-something million worth of abatements and et cetera to bring.
And they landed Tesla.
That's right, they landed it. You look at, let me just say this. And I know this for a fact because that was when I first got involved with the Chamber of Commerce. If you look back at Cooper Tire and Rubber Company, and I've had this happen to me, so many people have said, we're not going to do anything like abate taxes or give money or whatever to bring business to Texarkana. If you're not, you can forget it. It ain't going to happen.
So we're not going to pay
Excuse
for
my language. But anyway, if you look back, how many years did Miller County and the city of Texarkana, Arkansas, abate taxes to get Cooper Tire and Rubber Company? Probably still are.
Well, they did the big $5 million to keep them when Finley was
That's
closing
right.
one of the plants.
But do you like Cooper Tire and Rubber Company to be in Texarkana? I think we all do.
Absolutely.
So you've got to do something to bring business here. We're going to give the property away, but we're going to give it away in response to what they're going to do for us. X number of jobs, this. X number of jobs, this. Whatever they're going to do as far as their investment is concerned is what we're going to do. That's Rob Sitterly's job. We brought him here. He's totally capable of doing everything that we want to do. He has invested his time. He loves this area. He loves Texarkana. He and Lisa, his wife, do, and I think that we've got a great match for him.
Y'all have done outstanding in recruitment.
Well, but keep in mind, Jeff, we ain't got a job here yet.
Okay, so when you said you were getting together with these community people, all with the same vision, were y'all sitting in a boardroom or were y'all just having cocktails?
No, I wasn't having cocktails. No.
I mean, it was more informal and word spread this is what the community needs. This is how we.
Rob and I have made how many meetings, individually and with a group, telling people what we're doing. I guess I'm trying to think, as far as the Commissioner's Court is concerned, I know that Rob has met individually, and I've been with him on some of them. Rob has met individually with every commissioner to say, this is what we need to do. He's met individually with Judge Howell untold times. He went to, how many times have we been to New Boston? How many times has Rob been out to Hooks with the Hooks City Council to tell these people what we're doing and to convince them that if you put this money here, something good's going to happen? We have been to the Miller County courthouse. I don't know how many nights Rob and I have been down there, to answer your question, because it was imperative that we go down there and tell these people, look, you're going to buy Miller County and the city of Texarkana, Arkansas is going to own, say it's 1,500 acres. The city of Texarkana, Arkansas, and Miller County is going to own that 1,500 acres. They're going to buy it and they're going to own it. If nothing happens, and 10 years from now there's no jobs and there are no cars on that piece of property with people working out there, then they can sell that property.
They still have an asset.
They still have an asset. They can sell it. Same true out here at this 800 acres that's been bought. And in fact, we're clearing, as you probably know, we're clearing timber on that right now. We're selling timber off of it at this moment. The trucks are out there and the cutters are. Those three entities, New Boston, Hooks, and Bowie County, are going to own that property. They own it right now.
I mean, this is fantastic. So Ready was truly structured as a public-private regional economic development arm.
That's true.
And it's involving everyone, and everyone
We're a 501(c)(3).
And everyone sees the benefit of what Ready is doing and are coming to the table with their checkbook.
That's right.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the crux of this entire matter is how in the world could we do what we got to do? Now, keep in mind, Rob's salary, and I think I'm 100% true on this, all of the salary, all of the expenses, everything that has been put together for Ready is with quote-unquote private money. There is no public money involved in it. The city of Texarkana, Texas has set aside dollars every year in the budget. In the new budget they got effective 10/1, whatever it is, the budget has money for Ready. Our money has done everything this group has done with a lot of private donors that have given money to it. And it's fantastic.
So this is truly structured for success with the private-public partnership.
Yeah, you look at SWEPCO, you look at Southwest Arkansas REA. All these people have put money in to help us because they see what we can do with something in Miller County, because chances are it won't be in the city of Texarkana, Arkansas. Well, it could be because some property around the airport.
So through this, we have all the local governments participating. Out of curiosity, what do the folks in Little Rock and what do the folks in Austin need to know about what Ready is doing in Texarkana?
Well, let me just say this. 3 years ago, Governor Abbott came in here for some event. In fact, I can't remember what he came in here for, but 5 of us met out at TAC Air when he landed. 5 of us met with him for an hour.
Fantastic.
Of course, we've had the Lieutenant Governor in this room for luncheon. Several of us did, and the governor has said, y'all get the property, we will get you get you started.
So we have full support of Austin, and they're aware of what we're doing.
Let me tell you something. Governor Hutchinson and his economic development man, you can't believe what they've offered us in help as far as all this is concerned. Austin and Little Rock, in spite of what everybody thinks that everything occurs on I-35, which it does, but it does occur on I-35, no doubt. But we will have the help of the 2 states.
No, I love it because it seems like our corners of the state have often been overlooked and considered small.
No doubt.
We have
no doubt. And they say,
location.
Look, Arkansas says, I'm not going to put him in Texas and vice versa and all that crap that's occurred. And it's been a problem over the years, no doubt. We're so thankful that we have the right people in our group that can communicate with Austin and Little Rock.
They understand our needs, and
we have the right 7 people that can do something. Let's put it that way. And it's fantastic. People just don't understand that it takes money to make money.
Oh. It
just, as you very well know from your personal life, it takes money to make money. And the other thing is this, I read something not long ago that, the guy that started IBM, he said, the most successful person in the world is the most persistent person in the world. The one word that you've got to use is persistency. It's no different than selling an insurance policy. I always said I got to call on 10 people to sell one, but if I don't call on that 10th person, I'm not going to do it. And the guy that ran IBM said the most successful person in the world is the one that has the most failures.
You got to get through your nose to get to your yes.
That's right. It has the most failures. Well, you look at the Bible, and you look at Samuel that sending out the ships. How many ships did he send out? And some would come back with the gold. So you got to send the ships out, and you got to do this as far as trying to get business to Texarkana. We cannot. We're working on two different businesses right now, and if those two fail us, we can't stop.
Let's just get through the nose.
And everybody, and of course we've expanded our board, but everybody on this board totally agrees that we're not going to stop. We're at the end of 5 years we'll got to gather up more money to run it, but we will. It's not a problem because people believe in Rob, and they believe that we will be successful, and we've got to be successful. This is our hope.
No, success breeds success, and then it's interesting that. Rob has come to town because he calls you the godfather of Ready.
No.
So you've given birth to something big.
I know. That's awful.
But as y'all came together as Ready, were there any conversations for y'all understanding, having the push, the need and desire for economic development, to have it done right, to build the relationships and to attract the community or businesses to our community, and also attract our community to understand that this is a good place to be? You do not have to leave the region. There is opportunity here. But what is the one misunderstood fact that is persistent in the community that prevents us from having success with economic development?
I always said over the years, I wish state line didn't exist. Let's move state line either to New Boston or Falk or somewhere. I just don't even want it to exist because there's always been that problem that occurs with all that, and I just,
So with state line, you're not talking about the road as transportation. You're talking about it as the visible symbol in the community that there are two sides.
That's right.
Instead of working together.
That's right. And I'm telling you, with the two mayors that we've got, with Alan and with Bobby, that's just not happening anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not happening. We've got the best mayors on earth right now, I think, and it's like Alan said to me over and over again, Dean, we're going to make this happen on the Arkansas side. We're going to make it happen. And Arkansas side, I'm telling you, the man is doing a fantastic job. He really is, against overwhelming odds.
Yes.
But the odds are changing. The odds are changing big time because everybody realizes that Texarkana, Arkansas has got to be a huge part of this deal. I'd give anything in the world if the first business that we brought in would be on the Arkansas side. It's like Lucretia and I, when we did the Live United Bowl, I started it, or started sponsoring it. I said, a guy told Alan, said the only reason Dean Barry's doing it is to move it to Grimm Stadium. And I just did like this. I said, you got to be out of your mind. I would never move it. That's the craziest thing I ever heard. But that's just how some people think. And I want the Arkansas side to be the most successful thing you've ever seen. And because when we all are.
Well, how did Dean Barry get involved with the Live United Bowl?
Oh, golly.
Did you approach Alan, or did Alan approach you?
Well, as you very well know, I've got a little old business over there next to Arkansas High Football Stadium, my RV and boat storage, which is kind of a joke between my wife and I. But anyway, we have fun messing with it. And I have a lot of fun going over and piddling around. But anyway, I was over there on a Friday before a Saturday game, and I got a little office over there, and I was standing on the back porch of the office, and they were all over there working away at that bowl game.
Yes.
I didn't even know Alan. I don't think I'd even met Alan. And so they were standing around, and they were working over there, and I kept looking over there, and I said, dang. I said, you know what? We ought to sponsor this thing. Agent Barry ought to sponsor this deal. And so on a Monday or so after the bowl game, I just called him, and I introduced myself to him over the phone, and I said, how much do you want for a sponsor? How much I pay you for a sponsorship? He said, Dean, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, just tell me how much you want. And so he just started laughing, and he said, I don't have any idea. I said, well, just think about it. So he said, can we have lunch? I said, yeah, we can have lunch. So Shelby and Lucretia and Alan and I met down at Zapata's one day at lunch, and we got to mouthing around, and I said, hey, quit mouthing. I said, just tell me how much you want for this deal. And so we agreed on a price, and that's how it all started.
So this is a classic place where you were not going to take no for an answer. You went straight to the yes.
Yeah, I just said, Alan, how much you want?
So
because
Alan,
I think it's great for Texarkana.
Well,
I
Alan
think
Brown
it's really
had a
good for
beautiful vision
Texarkana
to bring it.
And I said, it takes sponsorships because it's hard to put people in the stands on Class 2A football, and I understand that.
No, but with this sponsorship, what does the Live United Bowl contribute to the community, and also what does it communicate to outside businesses of how our community operates?
I just think it shows that the community cares.
I mean,
I just think it shows that hey, the community really wants to do something and they care. I don't know why. I just think it's part of the makeup. It's a positive thing for the community. I don't know. I just enjoy doing it.
It has support, so it's here. What can the community do to support Ready? What do they need to understand so everyone can get in line? We have the public-private partnership, but what do the citizens need to do?
I guess more than anything else, social media is just...
You don't like social media, or is it too much?
I think so many people get on social media because they think that's their outlet for negativism.
Well, is part of that the anonymity that goes with sitting in your underwear in front of the keyboard?
Yeah, I guess. I don't really know. I think so many people have such a negative view of Texarkana that are residents here that it's unbelievable, but they would rather gripe about it and do something about it. But that's just normal with people.
That's not going to change.
That's not going to change. It's just normal with people. You could have the most successful place in the world with the newest streets and everything else, and somebody would gripe about it. So I don't really worry about that. I really don't.
Just keep plugging ahead.
Yeah, if you worry about all that negative aspect, you beat yourself in the ground. You got to think positive.
Understand.
I'm at my age even. I love to think positive. You just cannot look back. A person that continues to look back is going to live in the past forever. And Lord, I've made failures. Lord, I've done things that I said, how stupid was I? But you just got to look forward. You just can't even think about that. My dear friend Chris Karam has said over and over again to me, well, Dean, how would you had a successful year? I said, I don't even know what I did. I don't even care. I really don't care. I want to look to the future and be successful.
It's easy to do the right thing.
Yeah, that's all I want to do.
So what is the next step, and how are we going to measure success to know that Ready is actually having an impact in our community?
Bringing jobs to town.
So we will know it when it's here.
That's right. It's like Leslie said in one of our board meetings, and I don't know how she came up with it, what happened, but anyway, she just said, we're here for one reason only, that's to bring jobs.
That's it.
And and you look at Leslie and running that big enterprise that they run out there. if you just think about it, between she and her dad, they are trying to promote Texarkana to bring jobs here that are actually going to be in competition. Some of those jobs, they're going to lose employees to who we bring into town. But yet they're still sitting here fighting with their dollars and their time to do something for Texarkana. And they know they're going to lose some employees to some plant we bring in here that needs welders or whatever.
I know, but that makes me feel good to know that they are doing it for the benefit of the whole community.
They're doing it
and
for
they're
the
not looking
benefit.
at it for the selfishness.
It is just so true.
All right, so I got to ask. You have this.
I'm getting tired.
I know. We're almost done.
I'm
we're
kidding.
We're almost
I'm
done.
kidding.
I got two things.
Oh, yeah, two?
Well, we'll go with one.
I don't care.
No, I
Ask them.
love you talking about Alan Brown and traditional way that nonprofits come in and raise money is they have kind of what I call the peer-to-peer group, the target group of who can we go to solicit to raise funds for our nonprofit. And here you are standing up next to your business looking at the football stadium and then contacting Alan Brown of how can I sponsor, how much, is they didn't ask you, you asked them.
Yeah.
That to me is a true sign of community commitment, unselfishness. Now, growing up, you had branded your insurance company brilliantly as cheap, cheap, cheap. But here's another example of where your passion for the community, you have no problem breaking out your checkbook. Mm-mm. You have invested in our community. You have invested time, you invested energy, and most importantly, you invested money as well. Why?
Because God says to me, and I think God will say to anybody that listens to him, that there is absolutely no doubt that if you do the right thing with your money, and there are 1,000 different ways this can be said, by the way, but if you do the right things with your money, that he will take care of you. You will be totally blessed. I am a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in to whom much is given, much is expected. And I will go down forever. You know, I've told both of my daughters, I said, I owe you your first marriage and I owe you a college education. That's all I owe you. Now, it's been different, obviously, but that's all. You know, I want to die with a zero balance sheet. I feel like that I just want to do, and Lucretia obviously feels the same way. I just want to do whatever we possibly can to help Texarkana. I mean, both of us have been so involved in all of this stuff that we've done over the years, and I just want to do whatever is necessary for a better town.
Well, our community is definitely blessed by having you.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
No, I mean, this is exciting.
As you very well know, your father and I were.
Well, I love you old farts because y'all could have just retired and gone to the cabin, and yet here you are.
I don't even
engaged.
like a cabin.
You're still engaged. You're still pushing and striving for what's best.
I can't think of anything worse than getting up on Monday morning and not doing something that would help. I'm just not going to do that until y'all put me under. But anyway, that's it.
All right, well then.
Give me the last question.
The last question, of course, is related to Burt Reynolds.
Oh, God.
So, growing up, we remember your TV commercials. And then I remember my mom talking about your aviator sunglasses and how I think you had an ad or some sort of statement that you were more handsome, might have been a chamber conference, that you were more handsome than Burt Reynolds.
I don't think it was that way.
Well, this is my story.
I got a horrible ego, but I don't think that was that way.
This is my story. But you had a reputation of being the Texarkana Burt Reynolds.
I don't know.
You played it up.
I did play it up, no doubt.
Okay.
But I will admit that I'm guilty. But anyway, I don't know how it all came about. I really don't.
Your good looks and charm, of course.
Yeah, all that crap.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it all came about. That it was something I don't even know. Let's forget this subject.
Now, but Dean, it brings fond memories to me.
Well, it might to you, but you were 15 years old at the time.
If that.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Dean. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with economic development for Texarkana.
And I appreciate Texarkana Monthly very much for doing it.
Oh, our pleasure. Now, you excited to hang out with some chicks?
We're going to hang out with chicks.
Let's hang out with some chicks.
Okay, girls. We've talked enough, haven't we?